I love Pinocchio just instantly. I had to like keep him out of the room while I made the bed because I knew he'd jump right up there. What's up, everyone? So today is going to be kind of a hodgepodge type video, and I can't even pretend that I'm not totally out of breath just from making the bed. So first of all, today's video is very kindly sponsored by Thrive Market. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. I had a couple of things I wanted to film about today, so I'm just kind of combining them because I did that recently a few weeks ago, and a lot of you guys liked it, and I was kind of, I don't know, I'll link the video I'm talking about below, but I kind of felt like it was going to be stupid, I don't know, or like weird, I should say, like combining certain things into a video, and it worked out, and a lot of you guys liked it, so we're going to do it again. So I wanted to just chat today. I needed to get ready. I want to share a grocery haul from Thrive Market. Of course, I was getting some coffee, so it's just going to kind of be an interesting kind of vloggy style, kind of not, mixture of stuff, so cheers. So first we're going to get ready together. This is the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. I'm still loving. I just recently redid what's in my drawers in another video that I think should already be live. So it's always exciting because I've reorganized what's in here. I've taken stuff out. I put new stuff in. So I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't used that in a while, you know, and it's just way more fun. I love this. Lawless Forget the Filler Overnight Plumping Lip Mask. I don't necessarily use overnight. I just use during the day. This one smells like birthday cake, and it is still my favorite. The cherry vanilla is good too. So I'm kind of pre-filming a bit, but I think that you guys are seeing this after the holidays, which is just kind of crazy to think because I always feel like the holidays are such a marker in time of like the year. So I'm going to put on the Catrice True Skin Foundation. I haven't used this in a while. Ooh, and it is evident. I have not like, shake it up, Jesse. I use the Catrice True Skin concealer all the time, but I haven't used this in a long time. I think this might be a little yellow for me. What else is new? I feel like every foundation is yellow for me. Another thing that's cool to think about if you've been watching our Vlogmas videos over on Tyler's channel, where we've been vlogging every day, our basement is being redone. So right now he's still working on it, but it'd be cool if by the time this video is up, it'd be amazing if it was done. So it'd be wild to think like, oh my gosh, it was like not there yet. Now it is. We are so excited. We did give a little like sneak peek in some of the Vlogmas videos. If you want to check it out, I can link our Vlogmas playlist below. The one thing I remembered liking about the, yeah, it's definitely too yellow, but oh well, wearing a turtleneck, so you can't really tell. I mean, you can tell, but anyway, the one thing I remembered liking about this is that the very thin layer covers a decent amount, so it was that I really liked. What shade do I have? It's supposed to be neutral, 004 Neutral Porcelain. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. I have not tried this. I have been so curious about how this will look. This is definitely a little too light. We're going to just do it. It feels a little tackier, I think, than I expected. I can't believe I've waited this long to try it, you know? Try one side with a brush. Maybe it's not too terribly light. I don't think it looks like spectacular. Let's try it with a sponge. It looks better with the sponge, I think. I'm pretty sure there was actual glitter in this. It is very finely milled. But like as I'm looking at it up close, I'm like, is there glitter on the rest of my face? No, so it wasn't the foundation. I really think, and again, it's so almost undetectable. I don't not like it. I just find it interesting. Let me look really closely at this like on my hand. Maybe not. Maybe it was just like on my sponge or something. I don't know. I feel like there's I don't know. It's hard to tell. So let me know if you've tried this. Have you noticed any glitter, or is it just like maybe something that just happened to be on, but if it's on both sides, I used a brush on one side and a sponge on the other. You know what I mean? I'll have to test it some more. I'm not sure how I feel about that. And I also want to test it like just using my finger versus a brush or a sponge too. I'm going to use the Benefit Gimme Brow. Love this stuff. This is a new shade I was trying. Oh yeah, that's right. This one's a little too warm for me. Should I keep it? No, I want to wipe it off. I love the Gimme Brow, but this shade 4 is too warm. I think, what do I usually use? Like 3.5, something like that. And I think I like that better. Yeah, 3, there's another Benefit product. 3.5 is definitely my color. So for today, we'll use the e.l.f. Wow Brow, always. I have the shade Neutral Brown. This stuff is so easy. I love it. I do think the Benefit Gimme Brow gives a little bit more, just a little bit more oomph. In a good way to your brows. So like I think some people are a little underwhelmed by the e.l.f. Wow Brow because it really doesn't do a lot of like drastic stuff to your brows, which I think is like, that's typically my cup of tea. But I do like the Gimme Brow because it does add a little bit more. And I don't feel like with the e.l.f. Wow Brow, sometimes I feel like at the end of doing my makeup, I need to go back in with it. Whereas with the Benefit, I never feel that way. I am sweating. Who thought it was a good idea to wear? So I'm gonna use my Wet n Wild Color Icon little palette here. And this is the Nude Awakening. I love it. These are just so pretty. I think I'm just gonna do this kind of bronzy color. Well, it doesn't really go with the pink I'm wearing. Maybe I'll go with just the lighter color and we'll just kind of, the shimmers are so pretty. They're so pigmented. There's not like a bunch of crazy fallout or anything when I'm applying it. They're just good. They feel like such high quality, and the fact that it's such a low price point is so incredible to me. I know this lighting is not ideal, but guys, this is just what we have to work with today. So I'm just using this like lighter brown. So how was your holiday season? Did you spend it at home? Did you travel? I'm always so curious. We don't typically travel since most of our family is here in town where we live, but I know like a vast majority, well, I don't know that it's a majority, but I mean, a lot of people travel for the Christmas holiday or whatever holiday you celebrate. And so I'm just curious, how many of you guys did travel? Because that's like a world, I mean, we travel all the time, but like travel over the holidays like this is a world we've really not experienced. So I'm always a little bit curious about that. I feel like this just blended in so easily, you know? Maybe I'll tap a little bit of like this darker shimmer in like the outer corner. Just kind of sloppily. When I got my nails done, I picked, so they have like, it's dipped powder, and they have like more expensive brand. They all cost the same when you do it, but you can tell there's like cheaper brands of the dipped powder. And every time I ever pick a color, of course there's more options of colors, and the colors I always want are part of the like cheaper brand. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because every time I've ever gotten one of those colors, they break within days. And with dip powder nails, they'll last like 2 or 3 weeks, no problem. But no matter what, like I broke that one, I've got 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 nails within a week, just straight up broke. I'm like, never again, Jessica. I know the cute colors are part of that line, but you just can't. It's not, because then I'm like, well, if I'm not getting like 2 or 3 weeks of wear out of it, it's not worth what I'm paying. You know what I mean? Anyway, just a little, I know, first world problem, but just a little rant on that. Really, I'm just trying to remind myself, you know better, Jessie. You know better. So I've really been liking, where is it? This, and I want to try this different shade, this Persona eyeliner. I've been looking for a dupe for forever for the Makeup by Mario brown liner, and I love it so, it's always sold out, but I love it so much because it doesn't transfer down. Well, this Persona one, it's not like it's a cheaper dupe. I'm pretty sure they're right around the same price. So it's not, I'm still looking for a drugstore version, but this one is lovely. It's the Persona 24-hour waterproof eye pencil. So I've been using the shade brown. I'm going to use the shade plum today. Sometimes this kind of shade can be so pretty if you have like greenish or hazel eyes. I feel like it just really brings it out depending on how you use it, you know? So you can kind of see it's like a little bit of a, yeah, I mean, it's called plum. That's exactly how it looks. So I might grab like a little thin angled brush and just try to kind of pull it out with what's on there. Just like a little baby wing. I'm not sure how that looks, but we can work with it. I always feel like I can never get my eyeliner to match, which I think most of us feel that way. But especially when it comes to like, if I'm not using a liquid liner, I'm using like a pencil and trying to mess with it, I can definitely never get them to match. Like never, ever, ever. Also, I think I take back what I said about no fallout on the Wet n Wild, because, you know, the glitter from maybe the concealer aside, there's definitely a bunch more. So I just don't think I'd noticed it. And that like ivory color I don't use as often, and that definitely had some fallout. I always do this. I can sit up straight, right? I can move my mirror, like I have it down like this. I can move it up. But I always end up doing this. I move it down and I hunch to do it. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? It's so weird. Do you guys do that? So next up is my favorite mascara of the moment, or I should say one of two favorite mascaras of the moment. This is the Tartelette Tubing Mascara. This stuff works so quickly. It pushes those lashes up. It's a tubing mascara, so it comes off with warm water. So I know this lighting is awful. If you are someone that loses lashes easily, this is amazing because you don't need to like scrub and scrub. You just need some warm water and it will come off so easily without like scrubbing back and forth. And so I think tubing mascaras would be the answer for you if you do find that you lose lashes from time to time when you're, especially when you're like removing mascara. But I also noticed that tubing mascaras don't typically smudge. So if you have problems with smudging, it's yet another reason. I just love it. And I don't think all tubing mascaras are created equal, but this is definitely one of the really good ones, if not the best one I've tried. So I do feel like that liner, like the plum one, won't stay on the waterline as well. So I might go in with the brown. Like it looks really nice on the, lid. But if you're actually wanting darkness on the waterline, I don't think it's dark enough to pull that off. So just something to be aware of, So yeah, there is that. So I'm definitely feeling like a lot of the coverage, I'm literally sweating. Can you guys see? A lot of the coverage of that foundation has not necessarily like stayed where I want it. So I am going to use a powder foundation to kind of make up for that. First, under eye powder. This is the Bare Minerals Original Mineral Veil. In the shade Sheer Light. This is one of my favorite under eye powders. I don't know, something about the way it just really flattens it out and kind of adds just a little bit more coverage if I feel like I need it. I don't know how I feel about that Charlotte Tilbury concealer. It doesn't look like spectacular. I mean, this is the first time I've ever used it, but it really doesn't look like anything wildly special, and it's a pretty special price point, right? And then I'm going to use the Essence 16-Hour Cover and Last Powder Foundation. I like this stuff. So I'm just going to kind of put it in my T-zone for now because I'm going to use a cream bronzer on the other parts of my face. So I'm going to use the Revolution Cream Bronzer. I continually get questions about this. My favorite cream bronzer right now is the NARS Laguna Bronzing Cream. However, a lot of you guys have asked if this is a dupe. I actually don't think it is. This one is way more emollient, almost oily. I really like this too, but I don't think they're the same. And so this one almost looks a little bit more matte. Not only that, I don't think the wear time of this is as good, but this, guys, this is a really good cream bronzer. So I don't want you to feel like I'm saying it's not good because I actually really do think it's good. It's just not exactly the same. I have to be careful with it. It does have a little more pigment. I wish I had, I think this is the lightest shade, and I wish I had a slightly lighter shade. I really think, here, let me turn that light away. I really think if I had a slightly lighter shade, I would probably like this more. I think that's part of why I like the NARS one a little bit more, is because it's closer to my skin tone, so it's not quite as drastic, and I don't have to be quite as careful. Do you know what I mean? But this is really lovely. I mean, you can see it's blending in quickly. It's really pretty. It doesn't look powdery or anything weird. I mean, that's gorgeous. So, I think it's great. I think if you're in the market for a cream bronzer, go for it, because I mean, I'm still reaching for this all the time. It's just not the exact same as the NARS. I think the reason the NARS one will always trump this is, and maybe it's just a shade thing, but I think it's also a formula thing, because that is one I don't even have to think about. I can go ham and it always looks natural. You can apply it any way you want and it always looks natural. Whereas with the Revolution, I do feel like I have to be a little bit more like, okay, and like focus and not put too much on, etc. But it is lovely. I have the shade Light in this, by the way, and then I have Laguna 01 in the NARS one. I want to use this Essence Mosaic Blush. I feel like with this shirt, it's like perfect. It's kind of like a cool pink, almost purpley, and I haven't used it in a minute, so we're going to use it right now. I feel like it's such a pretty wintry shade, especially since like lots of blush is like the rage, just like the 80s, baby. I feel like lots of blush, highly placed, is totally in style right now, and I think that's so fun. Typically though, I will kind of take my foundation and just kind of mesh it together just a little bit more. But yeah, I love that like flush. It looks so wintry, doesn't it? Ooh, so this is the shade The Berry Connection, by the way. So for lips, I've been reaching so much. I'm not going to wear it today because it's not quite the right vibe, but for most days, this Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Ink, this is in the shade 15 Peachy. It's comfy, it's kind of glossy, but not like sticky at all. It's a very thin formula. It's one of those like really everyday shades if you have a similar skin tone to mine. It is beautiful and it's comfortable, and yeah. But for today, I think I'm just gonna kind of go, well, let's do this. I wanna do Warm Me Up by Maybelline. This is one of my favorite, this might be my favorite drugstore lipstick formula. I've been trying to think about like, what is my actual favorite? I think this might be it. I really like the Milani ones, but I think I like these a little bit more. They're just a little bit creamier. And I want to say the Maybelline ones have more shades than the Milani. I mean, I'm almost positive. I feel like when you look at like the Maybelline lipstick counter, if you will, you know what I mean? There's a lot of shades. But if you have shade recommendations for this line, let me know. I'm partial to the cream one. So there's different ones within the Color Sensational line. The cream formula is my favorite, but I'm open. You know, I'm open to trying other ones. But I feel like this is such a nice, like, kind of pinky shade, like a winter berry, you know, but light. And then I might put this on. This is the Buxom Claire lip gloss. This is one of my favorites because it's super, it's not crunchy at all, but it's super glittery, but you don't feel the glitter. And again, kind of a wintry, I mean, it's pretty sheer. I just feel like it's such a pretty wintry shade. And these are like slightly minty and tingly. I always have a Buxom lip gloss in my life, always. So, all right, we are ready for the day. Thank you guys for coming along with me. I've got to get myself together and stop sweating so much. So, we are ready. We've drank half our cup of coffee, which is nice. Not that this is my first cup of coffee today, because it's obviously not. But I want to show you what groceries I got, and then we're going to chat just about life and some questions you guys have brought up and topics I've had on my mind, because I enjoyed, it was very cathartic for me to do this in the last video that I mentioned earlier, the kind of hodgepodge video. It was really cathartic to share what was on my heart then, so I'm wanting to do that again. So we'll do that in the last third of the video. But first, groceries. Well, but a little interruption for my Pinocchio boy. Hi, handsome. He said, I just really love taking my morning snoozles up here. He loves these like soft pillows. And when they're not up on the bed, he's so distraught. He's like, come on, bring up the ones that feel like another doggy. Like I'm in a little den with a bunch of beagle pups. Such a good boy. You guys could only see, well, I might as well show you the mess. Look at this mess. I've got some dishes to do, but we're gonna pretend it's not there for right now, okay? All right, so we're just gonna pretend that mess is not there. So as I mentioned, I do have a grocery haul, and this portion of the video is kindly sponsored by Thrive Market. Thank you, Thrive Market, for supporting my channel. Wow, I ordered this time a bit of groceries that are ones we've been missing, we've been out of for a while, and so I'm excited to share those, and then a couple of new things, and at least one thing I want to try here on camera, because I've been so curious about how they taste. So if you've never heard of Thrive Market, it is an online membership-based marketplace, grocery store. They sell everything under the sun, you guys. It's not just groceries, it's body care and stuff for babies and kids and pets and your home and cleaning. They have so many different organic, non-toxic, maybe more clean ingredients. And especially if you're someone that's following a certain way of eating, whether it's like keto, gluten-free, non-GMO, vegan, they have so many options. You can filter it by those kinds of categories so you can really find what you're looking for easily. And I really appreciate that too, because I feel like if you were, like my mom eats a gluten-free diet and she has to, and I feel like when you're at a store, there's just so, like it's such a limited amount of options you have, whereas on Thrive Market, there's so much more. And the best part about it is that you save money. They give members only savings, so you are guaranteed to save money versus what you would pay at a regular store, which I think that's so awesome. I'll pop on the screen here how much I saved in this order alone, so it's totally worth what I pay for my membership, and yeah, I just love it. So let me show you what I got. When I say that we have been missing these, because I would eat like one a day and we haven't had them in a while. These are the Noka Superfood Smoothies. I absolutely love these. I got this flavor, which is the super berry, and then I also got the vanilla, or the blackberry vanilla. These are just so good, you guys. But yeah, I'm realizing I've never like actually showed you what these look like. I always show you the box. They're literally a little pouch. And so for me, I will, like if I'm leaving in the morning, I'll have my coffee and I'll grab one of these, and it's got so many different vitamins, protein, like this one's got zinc, like so many different things that are good for you, and it's could not be more convenient. And I think it's cool that you don't have to refrigerate it. We do typically, but you don't have to. And I love that it's, you know, just so versatile. You can throw it in your lunchbox or your purse, whatever. So very big fan of those. I have been missing them so much. I can't shut up about this oatmeal, and I actually did not know they were on Thrive until recently, and so now I'm saving money on it. I was buying it at the regular store. This is the best, this is the best quick oatmeal you will ever taste. I have my mom try one because they have a gluten-free version, And she was like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than what else out there. I'm like, I know. I don't know how they do it. So anyway, this is the Nature's Path Organic. Apple cinnamon is my favorite flavor, but it's their instant oatmeal. I got 2 of them because we're going to bring 1 box to the workspace and have 1 box here. I love it so much. It's so good, you guys. It's like not too sweet. You just got to try it. They, of course, have other flavors, too. So this is something Genevieve loves. These are the This Saves Lives little unicorn sprinkle surprises. They're kind of like a Rice Krispie treat with some sprinkles on them. She loves them. And what's cool is they're school safe because I think they are, yeah, they're peanut-free, nut-free, gluten-free, et cetera, et cetera. So if you have like an allergen-free school or like a peanut-free school, I feel like a lot of them are. Anyway, she can bring these, but so good. I also got these Chia Squeeze. This is, again, another packet that I like. I definitely like the Noka ones better, but Tyler really likes these. So it's got omega-3s, no added sugar, and again, it's just one of those things that's really easy and a way healthier snack to have if you need something quick. I feel like the second I am hungry during the day, boy, you'd better get something in me because I'm gonna get mean real fast. So it's nice to have those as options. Oh, this is what I wanted to try. This is the Kind Thins. So I've tried the regular Kind bars in the dark chocolate and sea salt, but we're gonna try the Thins today because I don't think I've ever tried these. This is one of those things I really like because there's like, you know, a bunch of nuts in it, which is good for you. But when you've got that sweet tooth, it's got chocolate, like legitimate chocolate in it too. So look how thin that is. So good. And I love that the first ingredient is almonds. That's pretty cool. So yeah, these are good. They're not as crunchy as the regular almond bars. These are chewier than I expected, but I think I really like that. And I didn't want to go, you know what I mean? I'll be finishing you later. All right, I wanted to try these, and I also wanted Genevieve to try these. So these are the From the Ground Up cauliflower crackers. So we've tried these, but I'm trying to remember what flavor. We've definitely had this brand before and really liked it, but just like a maybe slightly different cracker than what we typically have, you know? Because I do feel like, you know, she gets a lot of like, they have oyster crackers at school, and she'll get like goldfish or like cheddar buddies here. So just something different when she's wanting a cracker, and for me too. So you know what? I was gonna say I want to try them one day, but I'm like, let's just try them right now because I am curious. Because I feel like these kinds of things can either be really good or really not good. These are so thin; they are impossibly thin. Okay, the flavor of it, I like. It's not super in your face because it's just sea salt, but you can definitely taste that cauliflower flavor. But I definitely feel like as they advertise it on the back, I definitely feel like dipping it in something like hummus would elevate it. My daughter does love hummus, so I think I'm gonna introduce these to her with some hummus and see how she reacts. We also got one of our favorites. I love these tortilla chips. They're from the Late July brand, just their organic tortilla chips. These are just so good. This one is probably going to the workspace because I will kill some tortilla chips and salsa while I'm working, so there you go. Our good friend used to work for Cliff Bar, so we used to have the hookup for Cliff Bars and Z Bars, and now he's got us addicted to them, and we don't have the hookup anymore because he works somewhere else. I'm like, dang it! So we do genuinely love them, and Genevieve really loves them. So this is the chocolate brownie. We kind of trade off what flavor we get. Z Bars get expensive, so it's nice to save a little bit of money, especially since now we have to buy them. But those are so good. The chocolate brownie ones, by the way, taste like the Little Debbie fudge rounds. You know what I'm talking about? They taste just like this. So 130 calories. I'll enjoy this like it's a dessert. You know what I mean? Okay, probably the most important part of this order is coffee. I don't think I've ever placed a Thrive Market order without ordering coffee. It is the best bang for your buck, especially for like organic coffee that I can find anywhere, and there's a lot of selection, whereas at most of the stores we go to here, the organic coffee selection is very minimal, especially if you're looking for whole beans. So I got the Canyon Coffee Beechwood. I'm pretty sure this is the one we got last time, and we made it, and it was noticeably good, like noticeably different. And so Tyler was like, order that again. I'm like, I got you. So we've got another thing of that. Next up, we got the Thrive Market Organic Coffee Holiday Blend. It's actually ground, which is kind of nice because we have a new like pour over thing, and I feel like this would be perfect to try in that. So yeah, that is awesome. We really like the Thrive Market brand of coffee. We get a lot of their whole bean ones, and we really like those. So another thing we really like about Thrive Market is that orders over $49 ship for free, which I mean, that's pretty much a game changer, because if I were to have to pay for shipping every time, You know what I mean? So to be able to get free shipping, we will just wait until we hit that $49 threshold before we check out. So we never really pay for shipping. And on top of that, they are shipping it with carbon neutral shipping from their zero waste warehouse. They're trying to become the world's first climate positive grocery store, which I think is so cool. And I love supporting a company like that. So like I said, it is membership based. So there are two different membership models. The monthly membership costs $12 a month. We do the yearly membership that is $5 a month. So in total, it's like $60 for the year. But again, I'll pop on the screen again how much I saved. I mean, just in a few orders, we make that amount back. What's cool is that you will make back your $60 annual membership fee in savings, and if for some reason you didn't, Thrive Market will actually credit you back the difference, which I think is really cool. So they really stand by their savings. So if you want to check out Thrive Market for yourself, you can go to thrivemarket.com/Jessica Braun. You can get 30% off your first order at that link and a free gift worth up to $60. The free gifts are usually really, really good. So definitely a good time to join, and I will have that link and everything else right at the top of the description box for you if you want to check it out. You know, if you're someone that you've been watching me talk about Thrive Market for years now, I really do love it. And anytime someone in my personal life asks me about it, I'm the first to say, you will love it. It's worth it. Like, it's worth the membership fee. I really do love it. And there's so many favorites that we've discovered from them, or ones that were already a favorite that we can save money by just ordering it on Thrive Market. Like, for example, the oatmeal. So anyway, thank you again to Thrive Market for sponsoring this portion of the video. And now I'm going to eat the rest of my Kind Thin and drink my coffee. I grabbed my laundry basket, so we're gonna have our chit chat, and I'm gonna get laundry done. This is a productive day. I don't know why I haven't thought about doing this sooner. One question I was asked, I just kind of threw something out on Instagram, was if I found that I'm able to read as much with having a baby this year, because I'd set a goal of reading 30 books, and I feel like I always have to have a caveat. I did not really consider myself a reader until a few years ago. Like, I was someone that, in school you read the books, I mean, some of the books that you're supposed to read for school and this, that, and the other. But I never really got into reading until a few years ago. And now it's totally a hobby of mine. It's something I look forward to doing in the evening when I'm in bed. So anyway, so that's kind of crazy. So if you're someone listening to this and you're like, well, I know other people read, but I don't read, you might surprise yourself. It might become something you enjoy. I couldn't enjoy it until I got a Kindle. That's not true. I enjoyed it, but my problem was, especially with kids, I found that when was I going to read? And so the only time I could read was before bed, but I didn't want to have the light on if he was already asleep and this, that, and the other. So having a Kindle, even though I was against it at first, having a Kindle changed the game for me, because suddenly I could read in the dark and it didn't matter. So anyway, turned into an ad for a Kindle. My point is, that's what really kind of turned a new leaf for me when it came to that, and I suddenly am reading a ton. So my goal was to read 30 books this year, and I think I'm going to hit my goal. I might have already hit it by the time you're actually seeing this. So yeah, I definitely have found it's a little bit harder. I've been listening to more audiobooks than ever and counting that. Which I think you can count audiobooks. I don't think, because you're still learning, and hearing the material. So I've been doing that a little bit more this year, and that's, I think, helped. If it were just strictly my reading, there's no way I would have gotten to my goal this year. So yeah, it's been harder, and really it's just because if I'm reading at night, I'm just more tired than maybe I usually am. So that's made it a little more difficult to stay awake long enough to actually read any amount of pages. This question is so wildly interesting to me. Have you ever been belittled for being a YouTuber? No. However, I want to talk about this subject because I find it kind of fascinating. So it wasn't until this year that I had the realization that someone might look down on me because of what my job is at this point in my life. Now, if you are newer to my channel, I was originally into musical theater. That's what I was going to college for originally. And, I did it professionally here and there, but I ended up swerving and then going to school to become an elementary school teacher. And so I did that. I was a teacher for 4 years. And now I had been doing YouTube throughout all of that teaching. And then I kind of hit a point where I was like, when I had Genevieve, I was like, YouTube is already basically a job. I kind of just need to pick. You know what I mean? I was splitting my time too much, and teaching is not a job that's easy to have another full-time job aside. And not that YouTube has to be a full-time job, but my point is I really needed to pick because I didn't want to be not the best teacher I could be. Do you know what I mean? Because if I've got other stuff on my... Anyway, I'm going in circles. My point is, it really took me until this year to realize that people might look down on me for that. You know, if I'm meeting someone new and they say, what do you do? And I say, oh, well, I'm a YouTuber, actually. Usually people are more fascinated by it, like, well, how do you make money? And, you know, well, what are your videos about? And how often do you film? And, you know, what does your week look like? And so I think it's more out of like interest and fascination. But I always wonder, like, okay, when they go home, are they like, you know, what are they thinking about? Not that they're necessarily thinking about me. Okay, I know. But my point is, you know, what would I think about someone if I weren't in this world and I found out, oh, okay, you're an influencer. Yeah, okay. I feel like a general consensus, you know, people would be like, oh, well, you must be maybe vapid or maybe not so smart or maybe not that there aren't plenty, I know. But I feel like there's plenty of YouTubers, Instagrammers, influencers, whatever, that are very intelligent. But I think there is that kind of connotation there. And so it's just interesting. I'm like, I'm intelligent, I swear. I read books. So, you know, I think it's just one of those things. I don't know. And the more and more common, you know, 10 years ago oh my gosh, almost 10 years ago I started my channel. When I would like randomly mention to someone like, oh, I have a YouTube channel. I feel like back then people didn't even get it. Nowadays people are like, oh yeah, I know someone else that does that. So it's more and more common, and I don't think it's as odd to people. But yeah, I've never been belittled, but that was like, this year was the first time I'd ever like realized like someone might look down on me because of this. Kind of interesting, huh? You look so pretty in that color. That was so nice. By the way, this is a like turtlenecky, it's like thinner, which I like. Of course I was sweating in earlier, but it's from Target. I can link it below. I really like it. I feel like they had multiple colors. I just really like this fuchsia color, but it's comfy and it's just stretchy enough, and it's fitted-ish, but it's not so fitted, which I appreciate. And it's just loose enough that I could like tuck in the front to my jeans if I wanted, you know? Oh, this is a good question. Are there specific reasons why you've made old videos private? I'm watching lots of oldies. Thank you. I have plenty of my old ones still live, if you will, that you can still see. I went on kind of a rampage a year ago because what I realized is I don't stand by a lot of the things I've said in the past. And I don't even mean about like products. It has nothing to do with makeup. It was more to do with like, I feel like sometimes I would come across in a negative way towards other people. And I was like, that's not me. And looking back at that and trying to think about what was my headspace back then, I think I thought that like, oh, if you are, you know, not like other girls, you know what I mean? I'm not like other YouTubers. I think this way. I think I thought that would resonate with people, but as I look, and there may have been some truth to what I was saying. I don't think I was like lying or making things up, but I guess my point is I think it came across differently than what I meant it. And especially now being a little bit older and looking back, I'm like, I just don't think that represents how I feel anymore. And so I think that, well, I know that's why I privatize a lot. And some I just privatized because I'm like, they were like old subscription box videos from 7 years ago. And I'm like, some of those subscription boxes aren't even around. Like, it's just so useful that I was like, I mean, I don't know. I guess I didn't have to private them. I just decided to. So, you know, I've kept up plenty. I mean, there's plenty. If you want to see old me, you can see plenty of old me, but that was really a big impetus for me to go back through and privatize a lot. I hope that makes sense. And we just grow and change. And I don't think there's anything wrong with you guys seeing. I mean, like I said, you can see plenty of my old videos, and I'm different. My voice was higher pitched. I feel like from time to time I would almost, not that I'd put on a persona, but I felt like I had to be a certain way. And I think this is pretty common. Nowadays, it's so much more normal to be relaxed on camera, but I feel like when this was all new, you felt like you had to be a certain way and you had to talk a certain way, and I don't know. And maybe that was just me. Now, obviously, that was my experience, but looking back, it just can be so cringy that, you know. Side note, I got this shirt from Old Navy. I have the medium size. I really like it. It's like a ribbed, I'll see if I can link it. I bought it in store, like at the outlet mall, but I think I don't think it was actually an Old Navy outlet. I think it was just an Old Navy at the outlet mall. But it's such a cute, like, doesn't it look so 90s? It's real stretchy. I mean, it looks small here on camera. It's really, really stretchy. I love the little, like, ruching there in the center. And I love that it's, like, ribbed. It's just so cute and comfy. It really does remind me of exactly the types of shirts I was wearing in 6th grade. So it was wild to see it in the store, and I was like, I have to have that. That's amazing. I'm literally wearing, like, flare jeans right now. If I were to wear that with this, that was my first day of school of 6th grade outfit. I'll never forget it. Like, that's exactly what it looked like. I'm sure this video is getting really long. Apologies to my editors. Can you talk about your parenting philosophies? Even if you're not a parent, you might find this conversation interesting, just thinking of your own parents or people in your lives that are parents. One thing we've realized, and this before we ever had kids, we knew we didn't want to be the type of parents that were rigid. Now, that is not to say, like, we have rules and I will raise my voice from time to time. I think having some strength as a parent is important, but I think too much rigidity, especially when it comes to kids' schedules and, like, they have to nap at exactly this time, and if we miss that, then they'll be off for the next 15 years, and just being so serious about all that, I think is too stressful, and I don't think it's good for your mental health. And, you know, like I said, obviously everything with a healthy balance, you know what I mean? Take it all with a grain of salt, but I guess that's my point. You know, being a parent is serious business, but a lot of the minutia, did I say that right? Minutia of your day as a parent, a lot of these little things aren't important, but in the grand scheme of things, certain things are. And so, you know, making sure that there are rules, and there are times, you know, if Genevieve does not do what we say, there are consequences. And, you know, I think we're generally pretty gentle parents. And I don't know, like, the exact, like, gentle parenting exactly what, you know, do we follow every single thing that really would entail? I don't think we follow everything of any philosophy, if you will. But I think just you figure out what works for you, and especially keeping communication open with your partner if you are raising someone with someone else. Because, like, there are certain things that we always say, it's the hill we're going to die on. Like, is this a hill you're going to die on? Telling her that she can't have more of that thing for dinner. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'll say, yes, it is. And so then he'll back me up on it. And vice versa. So, and then other times I'm like, all right, just forget it. Let's just give in on this one because it's not worth it. You know what I mean? So just having a healthy balance of everything, and just a healthy outlook of, I always say this, but Tyler said it to me once and it totally, like, exploded my brain. When those little things that are making you crazy are happening, like with your kid, or you're like, gosh, I wish she could drink out of a regular cup. Like, I can't believe she's 2 and can't, I don't know, I'm making it up. My point is, I remember Tyler being like, she won't be 30 and not able to drink out of a regular cup. And, like, those kinds of, that mentality I think is so important, because, again, the minutia of all of these little things and these little milestones really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. They'll all get there. You know what I mean? And so that, I think, is a really healthy way to look at parenting and your kids and all of that. Good question too. When will you let your girls wear makeup? Love them, by the way. They're so cute. I mean, I'll put, like, little glitter, you know, like, on Gigi's face if we're going to, like we went to a little magical Christmassy show a while ago, and, you know, she was like, can you put glitter on my face? I'm like, sure, kid. So, you know, so we'll do, like, fun stuff like that. But I don't know that I'm going to have, like, hard rules. Now, if she's, like, 9 and trying to do a full face of makeup for school, yeah, I'm going to say something. Be like, honey, no. But one thing I definitely know I want to get across, because it's something I struggled with, was just, you know, what is the purpose of makeup? And that you're wearing makeup for yourself and not for other people. And I think that's important. And also, I think the biggest thing is that makeup is not necessary. I have really worked so hard to, don't knock my pile over, bud. If you're curious, Pinocchio is still laying up here. I've been working for years to break the cycle in my head of feeling like if I'm not wearing makeup, then I'm just not ready for the day. And I do still feel that way to a certain extent, but I used to be, like, embarrassed to be around people or, like, to run an errand without makeup on. Now, I'm not embarrassed about that at all anymore, but that's just it. I don't want them to even have that thought in their mind at all. They are ready from the moment they wake up. They're beautiful the way they are, like, truly. So yeah. that will be something that I'll be curious how that goes down over the years. And I'm really not looking forward to, you know, as they get older. I hate that they're growing up, and I'm on social media, but I hate that they're growing up in this era with social media and all of this, because it really is affecting kids in so many ways. I do think we're going to be the parents that, because I know the dangers of social media, I think we're going to be the parents that make them wait a lot longer before they're allowed to have any social media. And I know that's going to be unpopular, and they are going to be so mad at us, but we have seen enough news stories. I've seen enough that I really do feel that the best decision for them is for them to wait until they're a little bit older. And so, you know, kids are smart. They find ways to sneak around and do stuff. We'll see. We'll try our best, but, you know, I'm not looking forward to any of that, because it's just such a nightmare. You know, I talk to other parents in my life that have kids that are older, and it's just hard. This is a rough day and age to be an adolescent, you know? Oh, I thought, no way, we don't have any missing socks in this load. Nope. There's one without a match. Of course, there's always one without a match. My goodness. All right, let's do one more question. What are your thoughts on family dinner time? Yeah, we've been criticized because sometimes we'll eat without Genevieve at the table because she'll already be asleep. We've kind of touched on that. I feel like, and when we've asked you guys, like, what does your dinner time look like with a 4-year-old? And a lot of you guys said, you know, sometimes they're just so tired that we'll feed them, you know, and then they'll go to bed, and dinner wasn't ready for us, so we ate after they went to bed. No 2 nights are the same, and we eat dinner with her plenty. We don't always show, I think that's just it. I think people think like, oh, well, you know, because in this video they showed that they weren't eating with Gigi, they must never. We absolutely eat with Genevieve all of the time. And again, she's not going to be like 10 and we're not having a family dinner. We will. It's just that at the exact season we're at in our lives, some of the only time that we actually get to unwind together as a couple is dinner time. And so we're kind of enjoying that when we have those nights. And then some nights we have more of like a traditional family dinner. Like I said, no 2 nights are the same. And especially during Vlogmas, we have been so busy. Half the time dinner is not ready until like 9. And that's just because of the way the cookie crumbled that day. And like Tyler constantly being upstairs trying to finish editing, and then me making links for the Vlogmas. And you're not seeing that within the vlogs. We don't talk a lot about that, but like that's a big chunk of our day every single day. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, my take on family dinner is absolutely, especially as they get older, we will have a traditional family dinner. I'm amazed at how much that has like bothered people. Like I grew up at the dinner table with my family. Tyler grew up like, we will have that. I don't know why people are so concerned. It's just that this season of life, it doesn't always work out that way. So it's just where we're at right now, guys. Just, we love our kids, okay? I don't know how else to answer that. I feel like people equate like, oh my gosh, you don't eat dinner with your daughter, you must not care about her or love her. Like, my goodness, we spend so much time with our sweet girl. We love her more than you guys do, okay? I promise you that. I get defensive because I know what our days look like. I guess that's it. Of course I'm defensive because it's my life, and I feel strongly that we're doing the best that we can. Like we all are. We're all just doing the best we can. All right, Jesse, calm down. And now I feel like I shouldn't have answered that question, because I feel like, I hope I didn't rub some of you guys the wrong way. It's just, I know that a lot of you guys are coming from a kind place and you're not meaning to criticize, but yeah, I can't go into it anymore. I'll shut up about it. Calm down, Jess. It's just dinner, okay? Anyway, all right. Well, I'm going to end the video there. I hope that you enjoyed this kind of hodgepodge. I got a load of laundry folded, which is great. So I can get that put away. I think I have one more load to fold. But yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Again, if you want to check out Thrive Market for yourself, you can go to thrivemarket.com/Jessica Braun. That will get you 30% off your first order and a free gift worth up to $60. I'll have that link right at the top of the description box for you if you need it. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.